What's up, everybody? Jeremy Weiss here with Weiss Tech Hockey, and today I've got Tyler and Chase. They're helping me out. They're representing Raven Hockey today, and we're all really excited about this video. Basically, what Raven Hockey has done is they've redesigned and revolutionized the stick manufacturing for youth hockey sticks and youth hockey players. And what I want to do just really quick is kind of give you a crash course, a rundown in stick flex and stick flex technology and strategy, kind of what you're looking at doing with your stick flex. So the way stick flex works is the stick manufacturer will take and make the stick, and they cut it to a length that's generally longer, sometimes much longer than what you will actually use it at. So you buy your stick, maybe you buy an 80 flex, and then by the time you cut it down, if you're short like me, for example, by the time you cut it down, the more you cut down, the stiffer the flex is. Okay, so by the time I cut down an 80 flex stick, it's probably somewhere between 90 and 100 flex for me. Now, that's great. That's good to know. What should your flex be? Well, generally speaking, your flex should be about half your body weight. Now, as you get to the older levels of play, more experienced players, different people have different preferences for various reasons. But a general rule is about half your body weight. So if I weigh, if we're kids here and we weigh, 50 pounds or 70 pounds or 60 pounds, you want a stick flex that's about half that weight by the time you've cut it down. So what you see a lot of times, this is the stick. Actually, Tyler and Chase actually use the same stick, same brand. This is a 35 flex stick. This is the one Chase uses. 35 flex stick numbers wise, okay? But when we bought this stick, it was probably, I can't remember exactly, it was probably at least a foot, maybe a foot and a half longer than what we ended up cutting it down to. Okay, so we've got a stick that fits Chase height-wise, but a 35 flex stick, when it's already that long to begin with, we've chopped it down. We're probably looking at somewhere maybe 60 or 70 flex for Chase by the time all is said and done, which is way too much for a youngster to be using. So what they do, what we've done, since flex is a combination of the actual number of the stick pre-cut before it's cut, and then combined with what you end up with after you've cut it down, you've got to have a flex measurement. You've got to have it. You got to know what you're getting pre-cut. Okay, and so that's what we've done. That's what Raven has done with this stick line. So you've got your 20 flex stick is you can see it's a 20 flex, but it's also very short. Okay, I'm going to compare it right now to the 30 flex. Okay, so after talking with the guys down at Raven for about an hour and a half, they said they'd send me a couple of sticks, a couple that we can test out with the boys, with Tyler and Chase. They sent Chase a 20 flex and Tyler the 30 flex. So look at the difference right there in the flex, or in the lengths. So you see a 20 flex, and it's measured out. It's a much shorter stick. So you're getting a truer number when you find, by the time all is said and done. Now we'll probably cut off maybe 3 or 4 inches for Chase to make it fit him, but you're only, that's a big difference between cutting off a foot to a foot and a half with the longer typical youth hockey stick. So by the time all is said and done for Chase, he'll probably be somewhere around a 25 flex, is what I'm guessing, which is about perfect for his body weight. Okay, so that's going to be Chase's. Now let me show you the difference between their 30 and 40 flex. Okay, so as you can see, this is the 30 flex. This is the one they sent. They said probably Tyler would be about a 30 flex. Okay, this is their 40 flex. Now let me show you their 50 flex. So the higher the flex, the longer the stick is going, so that you're getting a truer measurement on the flex and the flex needed for your child. If you have any questions about this, it's a lot to go into in one video, but we're going to post a chart below this video, and you can also check out the chart at ravenhockey.com, where it kind of gives you a hierarchy, not a hierarchy, but like a cross-reference chart. So you say, weight and height, and then match it up, and it'll give you a recommendation on which flex stick you should be looking at for your kid. So there's a few other nice little details on these sticks as well. The shafts are a little bit bigger and a little bit more rectangular. So with the youth shafts, it's almost like holding an oval in your hand. They're so skinny that a lot of times the stick ends up spinning in the player's hands. So with a little bit thicker, it doesn't sacrifice, it doesn't make it so the players can't hold on to the stick, but it makes it so they can grip it better. And then, combine that up with the flex that's still, the flex is actually matched up to their size and body weight. And then they have made a little bit better size blade on these sticks. So the blades are stiffer, a little bit fuller size. I think it's going to be just a really nice combination of specs and things that we're looking for, things that we need in the youth hockey sticks. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop these down for Tyler and Chase, get them fitted out right, and then run some tests. Just let them mess around with it, see what their shots look like, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, we're going to put this to the test. Tyler's going to use his old stick first, and we've got a radar gun set up behind the net there. It's kind of hard to see, but you'll see it when it lights up. I told him no sandbagging, so take your hardest wrist shots with this stick, and then we're going to switch sticks and make the comparison. Okay, go ahead. Let's do 3 with this one. Kind of get an average baseline. Okay, 24. Go again. That one didn't register. 26, good. 25. So 24, 25, 26-ish. Okay, let's switch sticks. See what you look like. All right, let's see what this one looks like, buddy. Go ahead. 28. Good job. Keep going. Let's see a few more. 26. 28. Good. 25. I don't think that one read it right. 27. Good job. So within, 5 or 6 minutes of messing around with the Raven, he's quite a bit higher. High score of 28 instead of, what was it before? 20. No, that was your low. I think it was a 26 before. Whatever it was. Go ahead, Chasey. This is your old stick first, wristers. Okay, 19 there. Come on, man, fire it hard. That one didn't get it. Go ahead again. 19 again. 16. Okay, so 16, 19, 19. Switch sticks. 10. That one wasn't as good, huh? 20. 21. Nice shot, buddy. Try again.
20.
So, pretty big improvement there. 20, 20, and 21, right? Of the ones that registered. So, not bad. That's messing around with the stick for about 5 minutes, getting used to it. Pretty big improvement just in that. 21 again. Good job, Chase. So as you can see, the boys look pretty good with their Raven hockey sticks. We saw a measurable improvement right away in their wrist shots. We gave them about 5 minutes to get used to the new stick, and right away we saw a couple mile-an-hour improvement on both kids with their wrist shots. The other interesting thing about the Raven technology is that I've always been, my philosophy has always been, don't teach slap shots to youngsters, because even if they've got the technique right, even if they've got the foundation right, they're not strong enough or heavy enough to flex the stick the way it needs to be, the way it needs to be flexed on a slap shot. This kind of changes. I'm kind of rethinking my philosophy on this now, with the Raven technology and, the flex actually fitting the kid's weight and strength and height. So, we'll probably be rethinking that, and I'm not nearly as hesitant to teach a slap shot to the youngsters if you've got a stick that fits their, the flex that fits their size properly. So what I want to do now, just to finish up, is I'm going to let you know where to get these. Just click the link in the description. Right now, Raven only sells through a limited, a few limited channels. So click the link in the description. You'll be taken to the details on where you can pick up your own Raven stick. And then I want to get the kids' take on what they thought of these sticks. So I'm going to pull the camera off the tripod right now, film the kids a little quick interview, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, what did you think of the Raven hockey sticks?
Awesome.
Awesome? What about you, Chase? Awesome?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Did you like them better than your old sticks?
Way better.
Yeah? What did you like about it, Tyler?
The shaft is way bigger because when I shoot with my CCM stick, it slips around in my hand. Kind
of twists in your hand a little bit?
Yeah.
So that little bit of a size difference on the shaft makes a big difference for performance for you?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
And I like how the blade is longer and thicker because the thickness kind of helps me control the puck better.
Let's see. It turned sideways a little bit so we can see. So a little bit taller blade there, a little bit thicker, I guess you could say. And I don't know if it's much longer, but it might be a little bit longer. So you like the way that feels, eh?
Yep.
How about you, Chase?
I like how the wrist shot. It's easier to do wrist shot with it.
Easier to do a hard wrist shot? That was the hardest wrist shots I've ever seen you take, actually. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Overall, then, you guys like these better than your old sticks?
Way better.
Way better? Cool. Anything you want to say to Raven Hockey?
Thanks, Raven Hockey.
Awesome.
Best sticks ever. Thank you.